The world stood on the precipice of chaos. Darkness spread like a virus, threatening to extinguish the light of liberty. Nazi Germany, with its iron fist, sought to dominate Europe. Millions were drawn into a conflict that would reshape the 20th century. From the ashes of the Great War arose a new generation, thrust into a maelstrom of destruction. Young men, barely old enough to shave, were transformed into soldiers. They left behind their homes, their families, their innocence, to confront the evils that threatened to consume the world. The fate of freedom hung precariously in the balance. The world watched, prayed, and hoped for a swift end to the bloodshed. Little did they know, the darkest chapter was yet to be written in the frozen forests of the Ardennes. Winter, 1944. A time when the world was engulfed in the flames of war. The Ardennes forest, shrouded in a thick blanket of snow, became an unexpected battleground. It was a scene of desolate beauty, a stark contrast to the violence that erupted within its depths where serenity met chaos. The German army, in a desperate gamble to turn the tide of war, launched a surprise offensive. American forces, caught off guard by the sudden onslaught, found themselves facing a relentless and determined enemy. The cold was an insidious foe, biting at exposed flesh, turning water to ice and chilling men to the bone, making every movement a struggle. Tanks and vehicles struggled for purchase on the slick, frozen ground, often becoming immobilized in the deep snow. The air was thick with the smell of cordite, pine needles and fear, a constant reminder of the peril that surrounded them. Every shadow held the potential for danger. Every step could be their last. Every rustle of leaves could signal an approaching enemy, keeping the soldiers on edge. The Battle of the Bulge, as it would be known, had begun, marking one of the most intense and brutal confrontations of the war.
The cold was unbearable, seeping into our bones and sapping our strength. We could barely feel our fingers, the numbness making even the simplest tasks difficult, let alone hold our rifles steady, our hands shaking uncontrollably in the freezing temperatures.
We launched our attack with everything we had, every ounce of strength and determination. The element of surprise was on our side, catching the enemy off guard, but the Americans were tougher than we expected, their resilience and tenacity proving to be formidable.
The dense forest, once a place of tranquility, echoed with the roar of engines and the clang of steel. The serene canopy was now a battleground where nature and machinery clashed in a brutal symphony. Tanks, behemoths of war, dueled amongst the trees. Their massive forms maneuvered through the underbrush, turning the forest into a deadly arena. Each blast from their cannons sent shockwaves through the woods, shaking the ground and showering the battlefield with debris. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid smell of gunpowder. American Sherman tanks, outgunned and outmatched by the German Panthers and Tigers, fought with tenacity and courage. Despite their disadvantages, they pressed on, driven by sheer determination. Their crews, young men thrust into a maelstrom of fire and steel, displayed remarkable bravery. These soldiers, many barely out of their teens, faced the horrors of war with unwavering resolve. Each encounter was a deadly game of cat and mouse. The dense foliage provided both cover and concealment, making every move a calculated risk. One wrong move, one missed shot, could spell disaster. The margin for error was razor thin, and the consequences were often fatal. Yet, amidst the chaos, stories of heroism emerged. Acts of valor were commonplace as soldiers went above and beyond the call of duty. Tank crews risked their lives to rescue wounded comrades, their actions a testament to the enduring bonds forged in the crucible of combat. These bonds were unbreakable, forged in the fires of war. We knew our Shermans were no match for the Panthers and Tigers, but we fought on. We had to. Our mission was clear, and failure was not an option. The forest was a nightmare. It was a labyrinth of danger where every shadow could hide an enemy. You never knew where the next shot would come from. The tension was palpable, every step forward fraught with peril. But we pressed on, determined to break through. Our resolve was unshakable, and our spirit unyielding as we fought for every inch of ground. High above the frozen landscape, American paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division descended from the sky. They were the Screaming Eagles, renowned for their courage and tenacity. Tasked with defending the vital crossroads of Bastogne, they faced overwhelming odds. Their landing zones, shrouded in fog and snow, were under intense enemy fire. Many men landed miles from their objectives, scattered and isolated in the unforgiving terrain. Yet they regrouped, their resolve unbroken. They fought with a ferocity born of desperation, repelling attack after attack. Surrounded and outnumbered, they held their ground, their valor inspiring the entire Allied line.
We jumped into chaos. The enemy fire was intense and many of us were scattered, but we pulled together, determined to hold Bastogne at all costs.
Section 5, a foxhole prayer, moments of fear and faith. In the solitude of a foxhole, fear was a constant companion.
The deafening roar of artillery, the whistle of incoming mortar rounds, the sight of wounded and dying men, these were the realities of war.
Soldiers grappled with their own mortality, seeking solace in faith, in letters from home, in the camaraderie of their brothers in arms.
They wrote letters, filled with both hope and despair, to loved ones they feared they might never see again.
In the quiet moments between battles, they shared stories, sang songs, and found moments of humor amidst the darkness.
They clung to the hope of survival, of returning home, of a world free from the scourge of war. Section 6, Band of Brothers' Camaraderie in the Face of Death. Amidst the chaos and carnage, a powerful bond emerged between the soldiers. They fought side by side, shared rations, and faced death together. This brotherhood, forged in the crucible of combat, transcended rank and background. They relied on each other for survival, for a kind word, for a moment of shared humanity. They joked, they argued, they confided in each other. They became more than just soldiers, they became family. This bond, forged in blood and sacrifice, would remain long after the guns fell silent. It would be a source of strength and solace in the years to come, a testament to the enduring power of human connection in the face of adversity. Section 7, Beyond the Battlefield, the Unseen Scars of War. The war, though fought on distant battlefields, left its mark on those who experienced its horrors. Many returned home physically wounded, bearing the scars of battle. Others carried invisible wounds, the psychological trauma of war. They struggled to reconcile their wartime experiences with the realities of peace. Nightmares, flashbacks, and survivors' guilt haunted their dreams. The world they returned to felt different, distant. The war had changed them, irrevocably. It had robbed them of their innocence, their youth, and in some cases their faith in humanity. Yet they persevered, drawing strength from their families, their communities, and their fellow veterans.
Section 8. Echoes of Valor, remembering the heroes of the Battle of the Bulge, like those who fought in countless other battles throughout history, deserve our eternal gratitude. They were ordinary men who displayed extraordinary courage in the face of unimaginable hardship. Their stories, often untold or forgotten, serve as a reminder of the human cost of war. They teach us about duty, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human spirit. It is our duty to remember their sacrifices, to honor their memory, and to ensure that their stories are passed down to future generations. We owe it to them to strive for a world where such conflicts are never repeated.
Section 9. A Legacy of Freedom, the Enduring Impact. The Battle of the Bulge, though a brutal and costly campaign, marked a significant turning point in the war. It was a testament to the resilience, determination, and fighting spirit of the Allied forces who faced overwhelming odds and harsh winter conditions.
Their hard-fought victory paved the way for the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany and the liberation of Europe. The courage and tenacity displayed by these soldiers were instrumental in bringing an end to the tyranny that had gripped the continent.
The soldiers who fought in that frozen hell, enduring unimaginable hardships, helped to preserve freedom for millions. Their bravery in the face of such adversity is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for resilience.
Their sacrifices serve as a poignant reminder of the importance of vigilance, of standing up for what is right, and of defending liberty against all threats, no matter how formidable they may seem.
The legacy of their bravery continues to inspire us today. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can triumph over adversity. Their actions have left an indelible mark on history, showing us the true meaning of courage and sacrifice.
It is a legacy that will endure long after we are gone, a testament to the enduring power of courage, sacrifice, and the indomitable will to fight for a better world. This legacy serves as a beacon of hope and a call to action for future generations to uphold the values of freedom and justice.